Good afternoon, everybody. Dorcius here, and it's time for another art recap. We kind of skipped a bunch because last week's was actually from the week prior, so we have about 2 weeks worth of sketching to catch up on. But this time we're going to do it all from my sketchbooks, not from the iPad or the digital drawings, because I need to figure out a better way to make those show up on the stream and the video for you. So until then, it's just going to be exactly what's in my sketchbook. And don't you worry, because today we actually get to take a peek at my brand new sketchbook that I started because we finished the old one. So this is like my first ever sketchbook I finished. You guys get to see this. So we may make a whole video of the entire sketchbook a little later too. But let's, without further ado, get on started. So last week, you guys should have remembered this one. This one, almost all of them out of my head, no references. I love that hairdo. I think I want to redo this face again. But then, as you guys see my fancy keyboard, I was trying to work on more bodies. I did promise I was going to try to work on more bodies, more of a promise to myself than anybody else. But tried doing a monk and kind of styling him in the way of Aang from Avatar: Last Airbender. And this is actually my unfortunately petrified monk, who I no longer play in place of a bard now. So sorry about that, character. But yeah, I'm getting way more comfortable with doing faces of all kinds. I wish I could say the same for bodies and hands. I still hate hands. And then up here we have an attempt at an angrier looking version of one of my friend's characters. This partially finished face that 3/4 faces are still weird to me. I like doing like portraits of faces more than 3/4. And then tried more of like the hands up, like fighting pose. Oh my god, hands are so hard, you guys. I'm sorry. So I kind of gave up on hands after that for the day, and gave up on hands and bodies, and decided to do more faces instead. Just going through different range of emotions to show on faces, because I tend to always draw smiling people all the time, and sometimes you gotta have a little bit of sassiness. Sometimes you just gotta be maybe a little done with the day, and maybe you're just a little worried, or maybe you're like me, you're angry when you're drawing hands. All these ones just out of my brain, like out of nowhere, no references, which I gotta get better at using references. I'm sorry. I'll do that. Speaking of, oh, there we go, camera focused. That was a reference. This bottom left one was a stylized version of a reference that was on Pinterest. And as you guys can see, my little notes to myself. Maybe you guys get to see the note. It was stress relief, is basically what that note is saying. So yeah, it was stress relief, drawing some faces. And then, so we move further on the next day. Usually I'm doing multiple pages in a day, so this is actually legit, from going from the 8th all the way to the 9th. Even more faces. Got better with the 3/4, slightly better, I'm trying to do what I'm bad at. And then I just decided to ink one, just because I love doing the pointy chin and the big old lips and eyes. Just something about exaggerating the features, which is really nice. Then, on the 10th, we went a little bit bigger. It's kind of more of a full pager. I did a portrait of Ikora from Destiny. She is the Warlock Vanguard. So I decided to do a little bit of shading that way. Just need to figure out a good way to just shade the whole face and just go for it. Just go for it. That's why shading with pens and markers are coming in my future. Then we also, on the 12th, hands! We did lots of hands. Just took some reference photos of actually my own hands, doing, what Spider-Man can. Doing the Vulcan salute, just a little too wide on that one, just like that. And then, saw some good tutorial methods on doing hands that turned out really well. Same with the fist. That one was kind of freaky. But then, just how you doing? And then just one moment. Just one moment. Those were kind of fun. As I bumped the camera. And then I went away from hands. I went right back to doing everything else. I did a couple more hands, and then I went back and I posted this one actually on Instagram, I believe. It was about which do you like more, the more stylized on the left or the more semi-realistic on the right. I like them both. So like I think I'm going to be straddling that line between the two on what would I rather draw. And then we went back and did even more faces because that's what I like to do. Doing little pencil portrait, little elf girl at the top, and then these two. I really like this face, and then I drew her body really, really tiny. So, whoops! Looks like there's also chibi art in the future. This one turned out well after I thought I'd messed up. Doing the blue pencil is kind of hard because the blue pencil turns out can go from really dark to really light to really dark really fast. So if you're not careful and you do a line too hard, you're like, well, let's figure out a way to incorporate it. And then down here, this one I think was a transition point for me in starting to get a little bit more detail and getting like that shading just above the eye and below the eyebrow ridge, shading the front of the nose and things like that, and taking just a little bit more serious and just refining features, adding more details to take it away from the stylistic. And then we had this dude over here. Then we came to the last one of the sketchbook, which I'm going to be doing digitally. One of my friends, Origin from Twitch, said I should draw Samus. And he was right. We drew some Samus. We drew Samus Aran from Metroid, and I've never wanted to play Metroid even more until after I finished this drawing. So this one is one I would love to turn into an actual big print. I need to know where to get that kind of paper and just like be patient with myself and art the crap out of it. But I think this would be one that I want to turn into one of my first big pieces. Did the whole body, just looked at tons of references for Samus Aran, and just did her without the helmet because I wanted to show her face and that big ass cannon because girls with big guns are cool. But that was the last one for this sketchbook, you guys. Can you guys believe it? Like this whole sketchbook, this whole thing, all these pages. Oh my god, this is almost like 4 months worth of work. Oh god, some paperclip pages in here. Look at all of this. You guys can do this too, because I believe in you, and all you have to do. Look, that was it. That was like where I started that journey to say we're not going to quit drawing anymore. It was on this one right here with the keyleth, and that was thanks to my fiance Zoe for telling me to go watch Pub Draw. So thank you, Babstar and Marisha Ray, for doing that on the Critical Role channel, because I never looked back. And you guys get to see the brand spanking new sketchbook, which is actually really small. So it's one I'm going to take with me everywhere. And I got my Smile Squad sticker on it for the stream team that I started. And yeah, it's a nice hardbound one, and really easy to flip through, and it's got perforated pages, so maybe I'll be sending you guys stuff. We started out really strong on the first page. Started out super strong. Went with references that were on Pinterest and just went for it with the blue pencil. Did it lightly and got her done. So that was really nice. And kind of like, that's supposed to be a coffee cup. Looks kind of like a cell phone. It's not a cell phone. It was a coffee cup. That was a really nice model who did that picture. This page moving into definitely more stylized for sure, because you can tell my pointy chins and the swoopy hair. Got a like TM on the end of that swoopy hair. And then this one off on the right, I was trying to do a character for my friend's D&D game tomorrow, and turned out really nice for that 3/4 view. Really like how that turned out. And then just getting better with hairstyles and whatnot. Just being patient with myself, not forcing everything. And then a couple days ago, during this week, decided to start working on doing more gestures. This was the first of the day. And let me tell you, not having drawn stick figures, even after years, I didn't know how to draw stick figures. So I had to figure it out and do little blocks for the body. And just remember to do joints and circles and do curved lines for where the thighs and the calves are. And looked up a lot of cool reference poses also on Pinterest. If you're looking for lots of reference photos, go there. You have people that literally just do shoots of poses or just take pictures of yourself, and that works too. And then took a couple more poses off of Pinterest. We have one of like kind of Shaolin, where they're bending the staff and they're using to lean up against it. And then this one was actually of someone's drawing they did of a fighter using the opposite end of the sword to like start swinging and we're jumping through the air, and that was a pretty dope looking pose. So I wanted to do that one. Then moving on to just yesterday, started out with the top left here and decided to just do some inking and using a lot of mechanical pencil actually so far in the new sketchbook. Something about that mechanical pencil just feels really nice and smooth and allowing me to get as much gradient as I want. And then moving on and doing other little pictures of people I saw during the day. And then just went for it on this one. Just really went for it. Was like, let's do the eyes and make some really pretty eyes. Let's even do it on the nose. And like I do my little round edge highlight there on the nose, which I probably should change up because I don't think it would be a circle, but it is what it is. And then let's add the lips, and that was like actually the hard part. And then adding in the hair was like, yeah, why not? And then so our final page this week did another portrait down here, another like just pulling it from the ether, like, which is good. Like my brain's like, yeah, you can draw a random face or whatever you see. And then we finished off this week with that kind of side-eye glance and the big old swoopy eyelashes. I'm kind of jealous of like the way some people do the eyelashes and the eyeshadow. It looks absolutely brilliant. But yeah, and did a little bit different on the shading there, but trying to get better about just adding that in and adding more details slowly. So we're on to the new sketchbook, you guys. We're on to a new week. I want to thank you guys again for watching. Keep an eye out. If you guys would like to see me just do random posts of the digital work that I am working on during the week alongside the recaps, just let me know. Feel free to comment. But thank you guys for hanging out with me here today. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And I hope you make some good plans. Maybe spend some time outside just with the loved ones, with friends, just relaxing. And remember, you too can make some good art. And we'll catch you later.